It was 1969, and in the heart of Hollywood, the world seemed to shine with the promise of glamour and success. Sharon Tate, a young and talented actress, was living the dream at the peak of her career. Her beauty, her talent, and the happiness she radiated made her an icon in the society of the time. But who could have imagined that this very happiness, so radiant, would be ripped away in one night that would be etched in history forever? Hundreds of miles away, in a dark camp in the California desert, a man with a penetrating gaze preached chaos. Charles Manson, a charismatic yet disturbed leader, had formed a cult. His message, an imminent racial war that could only be triggered through sacrifice, through terror. Among his followers were a group of young, lost souls who believed in his twisted vision of the world, and they were willing to do anything to please their leader. It was a calm night. Sharon Tate's mansion in the exclusive area of Los Angeles seemed like the safest place in the city, but in the shadows, something sinister was lurking. The sound of a car screeching to a halt outside the gates. Manson's followers, armed with knives, crept silently toward the house, ready to carry out their leader's orders. No one inside the mansion knew what was about to unfold. The first scream shattered the silence of the night. Sharon, 8 months pregnant, and her friends were attacked with unimaginable brutality. In that house, filled with laughter and hope, chaos erupted. The murderers, driven by madness, struck without mercy. Sharon, once the shining star of Hollywood, was the first victim. Her life, so promising, was violently cut short in the darkness. The next day, the police arrived to investigate the grisly crime. But what witnesses didn't know was even more chilling: the indifference of those who looked from their windows, those who ignored the screams. Sharon Tate's tragedy wasn't just a nightmare of violence. It was a grim reflection of society's apathy. As the bodies were found, the rest of the world carried on with their lives, oblivious to the horror that had occurred in the hills of Beverly. Months later, the trial of Charles Manson and his followers began. But for many, the answers never came. Why? What drove these young people to commit such inhuman acts? Manson's face, with its vacant, chilling expression, became a symbol of evil, of collective insanity. Meanwhile, the image of Sharon Tate, the young, radiant actress, was forever marked in the collective memory, not for her career or her life, but for the brutality of her death. This crime left more than just a scar on Hollywood's history. It left us with a bitter lesson about human capacity for violence and fanaticism. On the night of August 9th, 1969, Sharon Tate and her friends became victims of a cult who believed that violence would usher in a new era. But what they left behind was a legacy of terror, despair, and a reminder that sometimes monsters are not lurking in the shadows. They are right in front of us. And so, Sharon Tate's story serves as a haunting reminder that darkness can creep into the brightest places, and horror can arrive when we least expect it.